Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Games to the Max. This is episode 473, and I'm your host Sean Gummer. Here with me as usual, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
And well, we have plenty to talk about. I did not think we were gonna. I thought this would be another short show again, but after we did the episode last week, a couple days later, Netflix decided that they got into a bid to, or finally offered their bid. They won the war and bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, and then come to find out today, Paramount ain't happy about it, and they have launched their own hostile takeover type bid. We'll see what ends up happening out of that. So we'll discuss that. I got an Octopath Traveler code on launch day, so I've been playing that. I'll talk about that. Marc's been playing some Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Once Upon a Katamari. He'll get to talk about that as well. We got some Game Award predictions as far as the award winners and some of the announcements as that is happening on Thursday. I thought that was going to be the biggest thing that we're all looking forward to Thursday, and then here comes Netflix wanting to steal the thunder. But yeah, we're gonna get into all of that and more right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get the housekeeping out of the way here. If this is your first time listening or watching us, we do the episode. We've been doing it earlier lately, just to where my schedule's worked out, but we could go back to the regular time here. So around 9 o'clock ish Eastern time, you can watch live on the YouTube channel, WTM Network, or you can just catch us later on demand on the same channel, or you can just, of course, listen on podcast. Which I apologize to all the podcast listeners. I did not realize that I did not upload last week's episode until today when I went in to start doing the description for this week's episode. So I'm really sorry, but it is up there now. So I guess you get 2 weeks in a row of hearing our lovely voices. So that's
a Christmas gift.
Yeah, for sure. I got my new glasses. That's sort of like my unintended birthday present to myself, but it's the first time in 6 years I've got new glasses that I really needed at this point. So definitely helping with seeing things a lot clearer. So yeah, if you notice that you're watching on YouTube, and if you do watch on YouTube, you can also subscribe because we have other shows that we do as part of WTM Network. So if you like entertainment stuff, which I'm sure the Rowletton Broadcasting folks that do all the movie reviews and TV show reviews and all that stuff on the channel, they will have their own what do we think about the Netflix, Warner Brothers, Paramount stuff. So and they'll have a better kind of idea of it. They're also reviewing the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 also this week. So make sure Anaya's bugging me to go see that. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go watch the first episode.
On her own.
No, she cannot go on her own. So definitely not that movie. They would isn't that rated R?
No, it's PG-13.
I still don't feel comfortable. Even though it's not that far. But people are weird. So But anyway, yes. So you can also check out the anime show Otaku Cafe. They review anime each week as the fall season continues. I'm sure they have their thoughts on the shows you should be watching. And of course, they'll have their end of the year stuff as well, just like we do. So be sure to check them out. And of course, you can listen to all the shows on podcasts as well. So yeah, be sure to check all of them out, review, subscribe, all that if you like any of that. Because they all do a great job for sure. But all right, Marc, anything fun or that you did
you
this
got new
week,
glasses, and I had to get a new TV last week.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. It lasted. What was it? 13 years.
14.
14. Okay.
I mean,
Hey,
think
that's a
about how
long
old your
time for a
car is.
TV.
Yeah, like most people don't even have a car that old. So,
Yeah. Nah, you're not right. You're not wrong about that. For sure.
and what happened? The screen was still fine, but the power delivery board, like had a leaky capacitor, and I finally just wore out or gave up or whatever. So it would like turn on for like a second, and then turn right back off. Like it wouldn't even like turn on correctly. So that's cool.
I imagine that costs too much to fix,
I mean,
or not worth.
it's so not even trying to worth fixing,
Yeah.
because TVs are so stupid cheap nowadays. Like, yeah, like just get
Especially
another
you
one.
have like one of those like 720p TVs.
No, the TV was 1080p. But
Okay.
put it this way, the TV had a built-in DVD player. That's how old it
Oh
was,
wow. Okay.
and it's from a company that like doesn't exist anymore. Like I can't find them. Uh, Thankfully, Jens grabbed me like a TV off Amazon or Best Buy for like $70. That was the other
Nice.
thing. I've very limited room for a TV. Like I can't put in some 70-inch TV or anything. I mean, that'd take up the whole goddamn room. Uh, I had a backup TV my mom gave me a few years ago. It was 40 inches, and even that was too big.
Oh wow, that's
And
like the size of the TV I have. That's too
yeah,
big.
the TV in my living room was actually only 32 inches, and that is 720p. So I temporarily moved that into my room, and I put like the 40-inch TV in my living room. And then I was using the 32-inch TV for a few days, and it was like making my eyes bleed. Uh,
Ouch.
First of all, it didn't like sit right on the entertainment stand I have, and then also like I'd play like Diablo 4, and the UI was blurry because it was 720p. Like
Yeah.
so, thankfully, Jens's showed up a lot earlier than expected, and I swapped it out. And the funniest thing is like I only have room for like a 24-inch TV. Like that's how big it is.
Wow.
Well, that's like small as hell.
That is small. Oh, yeah.
But also I sit 2 feet away from it, so who can I can see
Yeah.
everything just fine. Like what does it matter? But the funny thing is like it compared to my old broken feet, it looks much smaller because my old TV had like a 1.5-inch bezel all around it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So yeah, this
Old
TV has
school.
like a millimeter or two, like 2 millimeter. So I'm like, this looks a lot smaller, and then I literally compared them next to each other. I'm like, no, they're the same size. And it'd be nice if they could upgrade to like a 27-inch TV, but they don't make them.
No, they
Like
don't. It's all
the next,
32.
yeah, the next
Really.
size up is 32. And Jens is like, oh, you could have. He was trying to suggest you get a 27-inch gaming or a 27-inch monitor, like a computer monitor. But
Right.
it's like that doesn't work. It doesn't have like antenna in or component in. It just has HDMI in, and that's it. So, and it doesn't have speakers, and it doesn't have a remote. Because most of them don't. So, and it's also like 3 or 4 times more expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, I like the TV I have. Or it's just an Amazon insignia, but works fine.
Yeah, that's what I have for in my girlfriend's room. It's like one of those Amazon Fire
Yeah,
32-inch smart TVs.
yeah.
Insignia.
I'm doing nothing with the smart TV functionality. It keeps bugging me to like sign in or go online. I'm like, why? Like,
Hello. So yeah. Hey, that's good. I'm glad you got your new TV and you're not
right?
having to, bleed your eyes or anything with
Yeah,
that. That's good. But all right, anything else been going
not
on?
really. I mean, we can talk about what we've been playing.
Yeah, I didn't really do much this week either, aside from work and whatnot. So, yes, let's go ahead and talk about what we're playing. How much? I haven't really played much more. Whatchamacallit, Marvel Cosmic Invasion because I've been having to play Octopath Traveler.
Right.
So how I don't know how far you got or
Me and Jens we're playing it together. That's like our new co-op game. We got about
okay.
3 missions in. It's all right. you know, it's kind of what I expected, like an old Turtles or X-Men type of brawler. Like it doesn't have, it's not quite as like quarter heavy or as cheap as like those games are because it's not an arcade game. So,
You
but
could do the arcade version if you want.
yeah, but it's not like like the old X-Men arcade game was fucked because it was like you get 2 uses of your power, and then if you want to use it more, it takes your health, and that's nuts. Like,
Yeah, that
no,
is kind of
thank you.
crazy.
But yeah, we're only like 3 missions in. He's sticking with his usual female only characters, or he only plays female heroes, and I was kind of swapping around. Uh, it's funny because like Spider-Man is one of the biggest heroes in comics, and he sucks in that game. Uh,
I mean,
yeah,
what
not,
he does, like, it is weird how they have how like they don't have really a system of how like they determine how who blocks and who
right,
dodges.
right,
Like it's kind of weird. Like Iron Man is like a flying character or can fly, and it's like okay, he blocks, but Spider Man dodges, and
right.
it is kind of weird.
Yeah. The reason we're playing that is the previous game we tried was that Lego Adventure or Lego Voyagers,
Lego
I think.
Voyagers, yeah.
That's miserable. I think
Really?
he bought it, and then I'm basically like using his game, or I downloaded it from his account, and we played it for about an hour and a half. I was kind of neutral to like negative on it, but he really hated it. Uh, he expected it to be like a building game, and it kind of is.
No. Well, it didn't seem like it.
Well, no, it is because you have to like build bridges and shit to like get over
Okay.
gaps or crap like that. But like building in the game is miserable. Uh you have like basically have like no control. You have like you can only like lock onto pieces, and that's about it. Uh we kept you play as like two little, I don't know what the hell they're called, like Lego heads or whatever, or
Right. Yeah.
whatever the hell it is. He was blue and I was red. We kept like attaching to each other accidentally. That kind of sucked. Um we had to pilot this one stupid boat. It looked like an old like Vietnam U-boat or not U-boat, but like a Vietnam river boat or something. And like I controlled one engine and he controlled the other, and that was miserable. Like it just had like awful controls. Uh there's no story. The music was kind of like not great. It was just like very in the background. Like some direction would have been nice at least, or if you get stuck on something, be like, hey, have some like have Morgan Freeman as a narrator telling you what the fuck to do. You know, um, so yeah, we played like an hour and a half of that. He was like, "Fuck this," and he quit it and then deleted it like immediately. And then he started playing Marvel for like a half hour. Um, yeah, like I was
Damn.
kind of like, I probably would have finished it if he wanted to, but like I didn't think it was fun either.
Okay.
Yeah, and like just
Yeah, I
kind of like,
really didn't hear a lot of people talking about like the one that the where Lego did a great job. Apparently, is like Lego Party is apparently really good.
yeah, I've heard that was better. I mean, it couldn't be much worse. Uh, and yeah, he would like he'd get hung up on like trying to build something, like because he's like I guess a pretty big Lego fan, and you just don't have the control at all in this game, and it's just like, oh, you have these 6 block pieces and a gap, so
Yeah.
build a bridge across it, but it's not like elegant looking, or it looks like very flimsy. Uh, and you fall off like the ledges all the time. You can like you can like plant your feet on Lego pieces and like kind of lock on, but it was like weird. It was different for him. Like I could just press select, or I could press circle, and I would like plant my feet. He had like hold it down, and I was
That's
like, that's
weird.
not how it works for me. Like, did he change something in the controls? He was no, and I didn't either, so I don't know why it was different for him. Yeah, it sucked.
I'm sorry that you had how much the game cost?
I think at least 30.
Okay, that's not bad.
Uh,
But does it have one of those like friend
or
things?
25.
Like okay, that's yeah.
I mean, it might. I think it does have like a friends pass or something.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember them saying it
I mean,
does.
it has to because unless you have like it only has local and online co-op. Like it doesn't have like a single player. So
Right.
it need to. Um, but yeah, it's not good.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
But at least it looks like you enjoyed Marvel.
Yeah, we'll
So
go back
that's
to it when he's more free, or when you start. Like it was funny because he was like looking at some of the heroes. He's like, I don't. He was like, "Oh, Ghost Rider's in this game," and I was like, "That's not Ghost Rider. That's Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's a difference." And he was like, "What's the difference?" And I said, "Oh, it's a alternate reality Frank Castle. He became the Ghost Rider," and he was like, "That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard." So I guess new characters don't waft over him too frequently.
wow.
And it is
Yeah.
dumb. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
Like why not just have Ghost Rider in it? Like if someone said to you, "Oh, this is Cosmic Ghost Rider," you'd be like, "Who's that?"
Yeah, it did feel kind of like, why do you have to have that one instead of just? I guess because they
Right,
want
right,
to add DLC later,
yeah,
which is still kind of like, okay, I get it that you kind of have to have some things ready to go
right,
um after, in case it does take off or whatnot, but still it's kind of like, all
yeah,
right, I don't get it, but whatever.
yep. How's
Uh,
pixel art the game?
Pixel art the game, yes. Octopath Traveler 0. Um Very excited to be back in Octopath land again after how much I love the second game. This is actually in the timeline, this is actually like a prequel to the second game. So it's like in between both games, but it almost like retcons the original, which is
Yeah,
kind of okay because the original is the worst of the three. Um, so it takes, all the great stuff that was in the second game, and this is again, it's a remake of the mobile game, but they
right,
took out all the mobile stuff out of it. So there's no gotcha. Um, the characters are the ancillary characters still kind of feel like, okay, they could only do so much, right? Because you can't add the full breadth of stories that you can add in if it was a numbered game, right? Or like a regular or conceived from the ground up. Okay, this is it was intended to be a game like that, right?
right,
When they originally made it, I don't think they had an idea of converting it into a console game. Um, I wonder when that came into thought. That would be interesting if that ever kind of gets revealed when they actually. I think they do have some kind of like a making of series. I just haven't watched it yet, but
right,
it is kind of interesting how when did they make that decision and how much work did they have to do to get that like where it is now, where it does feel more like, okay, this could have been a console game,
right.
right? Um, and I think it's and for the I mean it wasn't announced like, but not that long ago. So I mean the fact again that like from announcement to when it actually comes out and they didn't delay it, it stuck to the release date and everything. They did a tremendous job, and I mean you're stuck in this. You're in this town, Lorsea or something like that, and you start out in Wishvale, in the land of Lorsea, whatever. And they have these evil characters that burn down your town, and then you and your friends like escape, and uh, then you decide to rebuild the town. So there is the added element of you do have to rebuild the town. It's not like the other games where the town is kind of arbitrary, whatever. That part of it is kind of like its own thing. Like it actually has its own chapters that you do. So the building is not like survival game level of building. It's very basic
Right.
stuff. And then you gather different wood and stone and all that kind of stuff that you need to build the various buildings. Each chapter has like the main building that you need to build, and then after that you kind of go and recruit different people that used to live in the town, and then also you got your 30 different playable characters that you can also go and find and then put them into the town as well. Like I found the first character because there's 3 branching paths of the main story that you based on the 3 villains. You can choose to do whichever one you want at any time. You can do them in any order you want. So it's very much like I don't know if you play either one of the games, Mark. I can't remember. But you can do like one chapter and then go and do the other chapter and do the other chapter. So like, on my way to do the one of the stories, I met the first character, which is Alexia, which is a scholar. I also chose my character to be a scholar. The difference in this game too is that you get a credit character. It's not like you start out as one of the predetermined characters, then you kind of go around and find the other ones like you do in the first 2 games. This one you create your own character, and then that's your character. It's a silent protagonist. They do have a voice, ironically, but they don't talk. I don't know why you give them a voice if they're not going to talk, but whatever. And then
that's just like Metroid Dread or Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. And then so you go and I got that first character. That's kind of where I am. I want to say I played like 10 hours, but I've done a lot of the like building stuff, and the prologue lasts about like 2.5 of those hours as well. So the prologue's, really good. That's a free demo you can play. So if you're interested in it all, Mark, I definitely recommend do the prologue because you kind of get a mixture of like everything you're going to do in the game there. Plus you get the setup to the story. So there's that. But I think for the most part, this really, I loved number 2. It was my game of the year it released. I think this is gonna be right up there because I'm loving this game.
Yeah.
And I'm not even halfway through it. So I definitely know I'm probably not gonna put the 100 hours into it that I keep seeing apparently it takes to completely beat the game. Or like do everything, but man, I'm already and somehow the music is just as good, if not better, than the second game, and the second game already had amazing music, so that's a positive. The art is a little bit, a downgrade because it's coming from the mobile version, so there's that. Definitely you kind of have to kind of take that into account, but I don't think that, especially in like handheld, you're playing it on Switch or on the Portal, I don't think you're going to notice it that much. On TV you might notice it more, but the art style is done so well that I didn't really bother me. I might for people that really care about graphics, but
Right.
I don't really know what you're doing playing these games if you care about graphics that much. You still get a lot of the HD 2D stuff in here, but obviously it's not as pronounced as say like the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake that just came out not too long ago. So that's a tremendous work on that HD 2D stuff for those games. So but yeah, I'm really loving it. I'll see how much farther I get, and I really like the fact that the building stuff is kind of like its own like little story. And they kind of make you want to do it. The way that they do the beginning makes you want to rebuild the town instead of like kind of like a Ball X Pit, for example. They have that as a mechanic in the game, and it almost feels like, man, I really don't want to be doing this. I really just want to be out there, like, doing the main part of the game. So I feel like this is the contrast to that. They do a good job of like making you feel like you want to do it So
Right.
yeah, that's positive too. Because that's one knock on it for me was like, oh man, I don't like building stuff or whatever. How much is it going to bother me? And so far, it's actually kind of like additive to the experience. So, and the battle system is as great as it always is. So if you like the battle system in that game, it's it's still awesome. So there you go.
Yeah.
But all right, that's it for what we've been playing. Let's go ahead and get into the news here. And well, I guess let's go ahead and start with the interesting story that came out of Bloomberg regarding Yacht Club Games. Just because, Yacht Club Games, if you don't know, they're the ones that make Shovel Knight.
Right.
And if you've been around gaming for like since Shovel Knight released, I mean, Shovel Knight's been in like everything. It's been in Smash Brothers. It's been in like every freaking little. It was in that Brawler game. It's been in like done so many different like little indie games. They've done so many different like spin-offs of Shovel Knight. Not to mention all the expansions for Shovel Knight that they did as part of the, giving the promise to the Kickstarter people. And then you find out in this article that they've been, I don't know if they ever announced that they were working on the 3D Shovel Knight, but they split off a team to work on a 3D Shovel Knight, and then they split off another team to work on Mina the Hollower. And when they released the demo, basically, that time that they made the announcement, like really close to when it was supposed to release, of hey, we're delaying it. That's when they kind of realized, oh man, it's got all these bugs in it, and we got to do a bunch of stuff. And like, look, the demo was great, so I don't think the core game is great, but the fact that you had like it was like an intern that they had doing like leading the project and everything, and this is supposed to be your next sort of like major franchise that you're trying to like leap off of Shovel Knight to have like a 2 franchise system, because this is kind of like their GBA, where Zelda's spiritual successor to Shovel Knight was sort of like the Mario for them. And yeah, man, it looks like that whole story just feels like a lot of wasted resources and whatnot. But he brought up that they need Mina the Hollower to at least hit 200,000, or they could be in trouble as far as sales. I don't know if you saw this or whatnot, but it seemed weird to me. Like, man,
It doesn't necessarily seem weird. I mean, I think that in the article they say that Shovel Knight got up to like 3 million.
Yeah, 3
so
million.
200,000 is less than that. I mean, that seems pretty doable, at least for a game that had, or a studio that has some name recognition.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like, I think it's maybe not great if they're kind of pinning all their hopes on this one game, or that's more the scary route or scary idea. Like,
I mean, sadly, that's a lot of game development in a nutshell.
Right. I mean, you could talk about that with the Wreckreation developers, but that's like, and game, even people noticing games is getting harder and harder, So, I mean, Hades 2 came out and it didn't get like nearly the buzz of Hades 1, and Silksong came out and it got some buzz just because took so goddamn long, but like people aren't really talking about it now. So I think like that's another problem, like with like indie games.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then just the fact that not only how long it's taken them to make the game, because a lot of it's because they spent so much time doing all those spin-offs and all the other stuff with Shovel Knight too. They didn't really start development on Mina the Hollower until like 2019.
Yeah.
So you had all that time in between where it's like, y'all really could have done a Shovel Knight 2 by now.
Right.
And that didn't happen. I guess kudos to them for like not wanting to just pump out sequels or whatever, but
I mean,
yeah.
as long as the sequels are good, that's what can help give your studio more runway to experiment more. So,
Yeah, I really would like more of a hopefully there could be more of a fleshed out story or whatever once they get to the actual release of Mina the Hollower.
right.
Yeah, because they announced the game like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then they were in development before then. And yeah, it's like, okay, everybody thought, okay, when they finally did the demo, it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna come out. It's gonna be another one of the, another amazing game that's coming out in 2025. And then it gets
Right.
delayed, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. And then this is during like a press thing to go play the game. Jason Schreier goes like kind of behind and starts talking to different devs there. And this kind of feels like maybe it's a little bit of PR as well. Like it's them kind of letting you know, hey, anybody that maybe thought, oh, I'll just get this game later. I don't need to support it at launch or whatever. No, we kind of need you to because we need to make sure it hits the 200,000.
Right.
And if not, we're kind of in trouble. So almost kind of
Yeah.
like them doing a hey, support us Kickstarter, but not doing the Kickstarter again.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, look, I feel like if you're having all these other indies that have less notoriety hitting, and you already have a proof of concept with that demo of Mina the Hollower in it, and it was very positive. It felt
Right.
like all of the feedback on that game. So yeah, I hope that turns into another tremendous seller for indie game, and Yacht Club doesn't have to worry about being in danger, I guess, when that
Right.
game finally comes out. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. THQ Nordic abandons the Wreckreation developer, the game that you were reviewing.
Yep.
Three Fields Entertainment. Um, what do you think about this? I mean, that kind of just, damn, that's sad, man. Like,
I mean, it doesn't surprise me because like that game really didn't get good reviews, or let's just say a very mixed reception. The problem is it got even if you divorce that part, the game got zero promotion and buzz. Like I was listening to like Jeff Gerson's podcast like 3 or 4 weeks ago before that game came out, or this was like
right?
2 weeks before it came out. And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's coming out in like 2 weeks." Like it had like no trailers. Like the one trailer
Yeah,
the game had before it actually came out was like a trailer from like 2 years ago on like IGN. One of their like
but that's how you know that like their story is pretty legit, because
right,
if your publisher is behind you and they want the game to do well, that's the first thing they'll do is make a new trailer. Be like,
right,
oh, here's the release date trailer. Oh, here's the launch trailer. Oh, here,
right,
like that's just common nowadays. Like you automatically get a release date trailer and then a launch date trailer when the game comes out. Like they got none of
yeah.
that.
I mean, they may have seen the game ahead of time and gone like,
Oh, I'm
"Hey,
sure.
yeah." Um, it's it's kind of a bummer because like that game could, with some simple fixes, or maybe not simple, but with some fixes, it could be passable. But that's probably not going to happen now. Especially like the
Yeah.
studio is basically done, or they basically had like I think they made 4 games, and
Hmm.
only like kind of 2 were people cared about. It was like Dangerous Driving 1 and Recreation.
Yeah. It's sad,
So
man.
yeah, and it doesn't help. Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna say. I mean, hey, you can't like look at Steam charts as like gospel, uh, but at the most, like that game had a peak of 108 players.
Yeah.
That's low. Like
That's really
e- e-
bad.
e- even somehow, even if it was like, oh, 10,000 people actually bought the game and no one just installed it or whatever, it's like, okay, the game was like $40. So if 10,000 people bought it, that's like 40 grand. Like that ain't enough to fund development on a game for 3 or 4 years or however long this game actually took to make. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
definitely.
So, and I looked it up because, again, you can't ever look at sales figures. So Steam charts was like 108. I think there was like 350 people on like the PlayStation trophy website, like a trophy tracker, and maybe like 560 people on like the Xbox achievement tracker website that had the game or like registered as having an achievement in the game. And it's like that's less than 1,000 people, like realistically. I mean, there might be people that there's probably obviously people who like aren't on those websites or don't have an account or whatever, but it ain't a million people bought this game.
Yeah, no. I mean,
So
the
yeah.
fact that they, even it's just kind of weird also that like you're like the publisher doesn't like Embracer doesn't come out and say anything
Right.
on their end too. It's just like, okay, we're just kind of letting them go out there and just say this and
Yeah. I
and
mean,
you're not worried about the backlash on that or anything. Damn.
I mean, I think they're more concerned about the other game, not Wreckreation, but like there's some other stupid game with like wreck in the title. Wreckfest too.
Yeah, Wreckfest. Yep.
Because that's coming out in like that's coming out in a few months. I think like officially because it's already early access, but I mean like version 1 is due out soon, so
Right.
and they're probably more invested in that.
Probably, especially since they'd already been moving on
Right.
from this and did not want to support it at all. So
Yeah,
that's not really surprising there.
I mean it's a bummer because like this game is Wreckreation is the closest you're gonna get to like a Burnout Paradise too, ever, and no one cared.
Right. But yeah. Moving on here, we do have one PlayStation story because Sony Interactive has announced a partnership with Bad Robot Games. Of course, if you know Bad Robot, they're the J.J. Abrams like production company, and they do have like a gaming arm. J.J. Abrams has done a lot of famous films and produced. His company has produced some famous shows as well. So.
He did 2 good Star Wars films.
Yeah.
I just said that to annoy Jens if he ever watches this.
The first one, the first Force Awakens, and then after
Right.
that, it's but yes, his gaming arm of the company, along with director Mike Booth, are going to work on sort of a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, which of course Mike Booth he's going to be chief creative officer, but he was known as the creator and lead designer of Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, one of the greatest games of all time, especially when you talk about like multiplayer games. There's been a lot of games that tried. Back 4 Blood was probably the most recent,
right?
That attempted and failed.
Yep.
They had a good hook there, but they tried to make it too complicated. And I don't know. You could bring the original creator back. You think he's going to pull this off for Sony, who's in need of who needs the most multiplayer games they possibly can get at this point?
I don't think so. I think it's the same problem as like arena shooters. People still opine for like, oh, I want Unreal Tournament to come back, or I want Quake Arena to come back, and it's like that's not in vogue anymore. Like people are, this Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is kind of looked as like a flop, kind of. I mean,
right? Yeah.
But that's where most gaming.
I mean, a flop for Call of Duty.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just talking like people like the, big open games with like persistent multiplayer, or you have like a rank and you unlock shit. I think like the 4-on-1 or like the 4-player co-op game is the same thing as like arena shooters. Like their time is coming past.
Yeah, I mean, but I kind of understand the idea of like people wanting to like not let it die, because you could always use variety in the multiplayer genre, right? Like you don't
Space.
need to have another space of like, you need to have another extraction shooter. You don't need to have another
Right. I mean,
racing game or whatever. It's just,
well, even like races, they're not making a ton of racing games
well,
anymore
but like,
either.
okay, I'm just saying, like you have Gran Turismo, you have Forza, you have the Crew Motorfest that's like trying to hang on there. You have
Right.
so, and you have all the PC ones that people play and whatnot. Like at least be different. Like nobody else is really doing it, so why not?
Yeah.
The worst thing that can happen is it sucks, I guess.
Well, like you just said though, they made that Back for Blood game and no one cared.
I feel like they like, again, like it did catch on for a while. It's just the core gameplay loop was made way too complicated. They
Right.
tried to, instead
I
of like
remember like
focusing on the fun part,
I remember the like goofy card system, or had like some
Yeah, the
really
card system's
wacky.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows? I
I
mean,
mean,
it'll probably be a while before we see it, I'm sure.
yeah.
Um, but I guess it's not a bad thing for Sony to try this. Look, they've got their own sort of hits. They're already testing out it feels like, why did it take them so long to do this? Actually, the mobile version of MLB The Show that they're testing
Right.
out in the Philippines, so they're continuing their sort of process through this of the multiplayer stuff. And if they can get something like this to hit, who knows, but it'll be a while before we see it for
Right.
sure. I guess to start the train rolling on this whole acquisition talk, one that's solely focused on games, we finally gotten the reveal of what felt like was always hidden beneath the in the background of this EA deal with the Saudis and Silver Lake and all that stuff, is that really the Silver Lake and Jared Kushner's company are kind of like just like fronts almost.
Yeah.
Whereas the Saudis are going to essentially own 93% of EA, which is a heck of a lot more than a lot of people thought was going to be the case.
Right.
Does this make you feel any worse about the deal that this is the case, that they will own that much of it? They were always going to own a controlling stake, but the fact that they're going to own this much of it, does it make a difference to you? Or
Not really, but I would expect, because like this is Call of Duty obviously, but how like Middle Easterners are kind of the terrorist of choice, or like the stereotypical terrorist in like a Call of Duty game.
right?
I wouldn't expect that to be a Battlefield game anytime soon.
Yeah.
Or same-sex relationships in like The Sims, if they were making a new Sims game, or anything like
That I
that.
mean, that's the idea, that supposedly they're not going to mess with that stuff.
Right.
Because the
Yeah, they can say
tendency of,
that, but
yeah, I mean, I think obviously they're not going to make it that overt. I don't
right.
know, because that's such a thing with The Sims of like trying to be, be able to do whatever you want kind of thing. I don't know that helps you to try to remove that from that game when it's
Right.
already been associated with that game. I mean, like if it's a new game, then I kind of understand, but not with something that's already established. But yeah, definitely, I could see Battlefield as, that might get, but we'll see. Suppose, it's that whole thing of like EA says that they will have creative control and that, the PIF is not going to be involved in that type of issue of what's being presented. But I would also think that EA would know, what buttons not
I
to
mean,
press also.
they can say that until like the stock price goes down or until they miss a payment. I mean, they're getting settled with 20 billion in debt, like, and they don't
Right.
make that many games, like especially nowadays. Like they make the 3 or 4 sports games and maybe 1 or 2 other games for the year, and that's about it.
Right.
So
Yeah. I have to
they're not.
wonder if they're gonna try to come out with more game. Do you think they'll come out with more games now because they have the funding, or they're just gonna they're gonna play the hits and?
I think they're gonna play the hits because if the game comes but it's a lose strategy on both ends, because if they don't make games, if they just keep making Madden and FIFA, like that's kind of a smaller, like not like FIFA and Madden don't increase over time, they decrease. So it's not substantial probably for them, but those audiences will go down year after year. But also they can't like make a ton of like weird indie shit, or don't expect to see Mirror's Edge 3 anytime soon, because those
Oh
those
no,
other two didn't
definitely not.
those other two didn't do well, or like don't expect to see Dead Space 2, or they're
Oh,
not
they
gonna.
already said that
Well,
they're
I
not
know
doing
that,
anything with
but
Dead
like,
Space. Yeah.
yeah, but like that's the whole thing, is they're not gonna. They don't want to invest the money because they always had these balloon payments and stuff like that. Like I've been saying for years, they should have been making a Sims 5 or The Sims, or because that's a 10-year-old game now. It's not. I think it's more at this point.
Right.
And them just going like, oh, we're just going to keep adding on to it. It's like, yeah, but you're on consoles and hardware that make that game look ancient now. Like, who's going to stick with, like, maybe the soccer moms will stick with this, or like the teenage girls or whatever, but they're going to grow out of this eventually, and that's where mobile is going to pick up the slack. Because I'm sure there are mobile games, not even like the AAA mobile games, but even mobile games that dwarf how the Sims 4 looks, because the mobile games are new, like Infinity Nikki, for example, or something like that.
Yeah, I could see
So
them doing something like that for
yeah,
sure to try to. But I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess, for one, if it passes,
right,
and then if it goes through the scrutiny of the whole regulatory process, and then what ends up happening, because it won't be in the first year. It'll definitely be in a few years after that,
right.
for sure. Um, that also some other interesting announcements as well. Katsuhiro Harada is leaving Bandai Namco
Yep.
at the end of the year. He said that kind of like it's kind of like he feels like it's his time, and then also kind of seeing some of his compatriots pass away and still be kind of like working in the industry and whatever. He doesn't want to be that guy.
Right.
He's devoted so much of his life to Tekken and just Bandai Namco in general. The
I mean,
development team also came out with a statement saying that this is not going to affect development on Tekken 8 and the
right.
DLC. So,
He said a good long run. I mean, it's been 30 years. Like,
yeah, 30 years is a long time, yeah, for sure.
the only guy I can think of that's like had that longer career, like the same company, is like Miyamoto.
Well, yeah. But even he's
And
not like in development part of it anymore. He's
right,
kind
he's
of
basically. I
doing
mean,
the
he's like the figurehead or like honorary chairman or whatever the hell whatever title he has. But yeah, he's not like making day-to-day games or decisions.
yeah, he's just over there doing like the movie stuff and whatever, which I'm sure is a much easier decisions than the
Right.
minutia of what goes in the games. And
Yeah.
so,
I don't like Tekken, but I can respect that it's one of the few gaming franchises that are still going on strong. Like,
Yeah, I
And
mean, for sure. Like the fact that it's lasted that long
right.
is pretty amazing.
And he's been there not since day one, but basically since day 2.
Yeah, that's from since Tekken 3, basically, right? That's when.
Now he worked on like Tekken 1, but I
Okay.
mean he wasn't like director. He just kind of like additional programming or additional help or whatever. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think Tekken 3 is kind of like where he like got more centralized in like the role, and then it's been like that ever since.
Yeah,
I like to
that's.
think he's responsible for Eddie Gordo, so he has that going for him.
Yeah, for sure. Um. Also, on the Xbox side of things, the Fallout creator Tim Cain. He's one of the leads behind the original 1997 Fallout game. He is back
Yep.
at Obsidian as a full-time employee as of Friday.
Yeah.
And he's working on a project, an unannounced project. What do you think?
I mean, I think he said he's not working on anything Fallout related, so it's probably just whatever Obsidian's working on next. And he's been at Obsidian before, like he's just kind
Right,
of
yeah.
coming back to it.
That's why I
So
said he's back. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Might be cool. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just like making him work on Fallout, the TV show.
Give your ideas
Yeah,
for that. I
more
mean, he
world
did
building.
work on South Park and Pose of Eternity
Right.
before, and co-directed the original Outer Worlds, the first one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that's cool. That from every time we hear about Xbox, it's like the older folks leaving. So it is kind of cool to
Right.
see like an old head kind of like coming back for once.
Yep.
Also, Romeo is Dead has a release date. That's the the new Suda 51 joint. February 11, 2026 on the two major consoles and PC, not on. He said Switch 2 maybe
Right.
at some point. Uh, he made a joke that he was supposed to secretly release it at the same time as GTA 6, but now that it got delayed.
Well, one game is finished and one isn't. So
Yeah. I mean, Romeo is dead. It's much not as crazy quality as GTA 6, but it's still gonna be I'm sure gonna be a fun game.
you take
Most
that back.
most of Suda 51's games are at least fun, if not
Right.
hilarious. So
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, trailer cool.
Yeah, love that trailer because it made you think it was something else, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, it's a Suda game. We got it. But all right, I guess let's not delay the inevitable discussion that we have to have here of going into entertainment corner. There's also gaming related sort of. Netflix has entered into a agreement to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. This
Right.
does
I mean,
include their video game arm for
yeah.
$83 billion, but most of it is the movie studio, the HBO library, the HBO Max streaming service, and obviously the library of all the IPs and everything else. The over 100-year-old Warner Brothers studio,
Yeah.
and the
This
TV production stuff, all that.
this is a little in flux because like Paramount today is trying to do a hostile takeover and all this other
Right.
crap.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that part first, and then say the part about Paramount was originally not happy about it. To be
Right.
fair, they made their intentions clear from the beginning that they were not okay with this. Also, their TV channel stuff is going to get spun into a different company that is apparently going to close in the quarter 3 of next year. That's what they want to do. Paramount wants to own everything in one lump sum, obviously, because Paramount already owns other TV stations, and this will
Right.
give them more control over cable channels and whatnot. So, of
That's
course,
just what
Warner
we need.
Brothers. Go ahead. Sorry.
I said that's just what we need.
Of course, Warner Brothers owns like TNT, TBS, all the CNN, all the old Turner stuff.
Right.
So, and of course, this will bring Paramount in with CBS, Nickelodeon, and what the other whatever's left of MTV and all that other stuff. So plus the sports and everything else. So yeah, this is it was announced like on Friday that Netflix had won the bidding war, and then it felt like or Thursday, and then the next day they announced that they were going to do the acquisition. Paramount's offering like $30 per share, and Netflix is offering $27.75. Whatever. Paramount is going to do it mostly all in cash, thanks to Daddy Ellison.
Right.
And so there's different hooks with this. Obviously, this also, again, like I said, includes the gaming arm and the comics. So Mortal Kombat would be included in this Nether Realm. The TT games, the Lego stuff, Rocksteady, all that.
Yep.
So what did you think when you heard this? Do you have a preference on either one?
I think both are bad, but for different reasons. Netflix is bad because it means like home media will basically cease to exist with Warner Brothers stuff. Like you can just flush that down the toilet.
Yeah.
And they're probably likely just to spin off or sell the game crap. Because what they're going to put Mortal Kombat on Netflix, or or whatever. Hogwarts Legacy 2 is going to be like a Netflix game. Like they're just going to make it for like a regular console. The Paramount side is bad because more media conglomeration is not good. Ellison is a bad guy as well. I have zero faith that even if they got all this stuff, that they would handle it well. They can't even handle Paramount well. So
yeah,
you should look up like the poster for the new Star Trek Starfleet Academy show, where it looks like a CW like teen drama. It looks abysmal. So they're not a great choice either.
Paramount does have some good shows. Like, let's not say that everything is
terrible.
Sure,
but so does Netflix. I'm not talking, but I just think they aren't good stewards of most shows, or
I will agree with that. I
Yeah.
would say that when they get out of their wheelhouse of NCIS and
all right,
the Tulsa King and all that.
Sumner or not Sumner, but Ellison's a right wing guy. That's not good either. So
yeah, essentially Ellison thought he was going to get it because he and Trump are friends,
right,
and then that did not happen. Trump has already come out and said that he thinks this is not a great deal because it will give Netflix even more power than they already have. Not that, obviously Paramount would be the same thing, just in a different capacity.
Yeah, it's like what, as opposed to the White Knights of Paramount? Like, come on.
I do understand the movie theaters having issues with it because obviously Netflix's first primary intention is to make Netflix better.
Yeah, they don't like theaters. Like, Ryan Johnson's basically like badger them to release Knives Out 3 into theaters for like 2 weeks, and that was it.
Yeah, like think about that. Like Netflix would essentially have to agree to, we're going to allow this to have the normal 60-day, 45-day window. You cannot shorten it for a certain amount of time. Probably like the Activision Blizzard thing where they have to agree to a certain amount of years. They have to allow Warner Brothers to release everything that they were already in production to make.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that's going to affect the DCU reboot thing. James Gunn doesn't seem to be very. He seems to be kind of apprehensive about this whole thing, how that's going to affect them. Zack Snyder already tried to involve himself about bringing back the Snyderverse again because this guy cannot leave it alone.
All right.
It's just like, dude, move on. It's past its prime at this point.
Make a new Rebel Moon, man. Come on, that was such a big hit for you.
The other issue is that Paramount would obviously have their own movie studio, right? So Paramount would have to essentially kind of do what Disney did with Fox, where they kind of like leave that alone and you don't
Right.
try to like shut down that studio and just be like everything comes into Paramount. So which to me that's smart. Like let Disney did the smart thing of like letting Fox kind of do its own thing on the movie side. Obviously the TV side they didn't get to own that because you can't have two networks. But
Right.
like this is another thing too, is like Warner Bros. Is a lot of TV production. So, you know, can you trust Paramount to like keep that going also? Whereas Netflix wasn't even going to be involved in that because they're hoping that somebody else buys that and they get
Right.
2 bites of the apple instead of 1, which that's part of it too, is like, you know, supposedly Warner Brothers is trying to is playing nice and they're gonna do like a 10-day review kind of thing of the offer from Paramount, but all indications seem to be that they're going to stick with Netflix and then kind of let it go through the tribulations, whatever that may be. It seems like if they do go with Netflix, they're going to have the Activision Blizzard King type path. If this could take, you know, close to 2 years to close, if it does at all.
Right.
And there's like almost $6 billion kill fee that will happen that goes back to Warner Brothers if it doesn't go through. So it's not like Warner Brothers is just going out with nothing.
Yeah.
And I think also for some reason they take the Paramount deal, Netflix gets like almost $3 billion. So that's a nice chunk of change as well. If that were to happen. I kind of don't know where I stand because either one of them is terrible. That both of them are going to mean a bunch of job losses, bunch of redundancies, probably a bunch of canceled things.
Right.
The comics side of things is already kind of like on a very thin ice. So I imagine that that's going to get outsourced if it doesn't all become digital at this point.
I mean, I've tried to buy comics recently for a friend, like as gifts. Buying comics is terrible. Like, it's a Street Sharks comic. They brought that back into like comic form,
Yeah.
and like less than a week out, like it's not in stores. And I went to one comic shop and I'm like, do you have this? I'm like, no, we didn't order it. I'm like, well, that's cool. And like another one that is sold out as well. So
Yeah,
buying
probably
comics is
because
like
they have like their set people that come in and buy a lot of things, and then they're not going to reorder because you're not going to have people that come on the street and just buy it. You know,
maybe not. Well, I did. I mean, but
I
for like
yeah
I view the comics industry as like more broken than video games.
yeah. I mean, even Marvel's suffering on that front as well. So
Right.
it's not like, you know, I think and then Netflix already outsources most of their stuff to Dark Horse anyway when they have to do
Yeah.
comics. So as far as like the gaming stuff goes, do you think there's any chance that, you know, let's say like the Mortal Kombat movie does really well,
Yeah.
and Netflix goes, you know, this is a historic gaming franchise. Like, why don't we just let NetherRealm do its thing and we just keep it in house and make all the money ourselves instead of out, you know, selling it off to somebody and
Because you're looking at that as like a long term goal, and they don't subscribe to that. They just want to sell it off as a quarter 1 or quarter 2 short term bump,
yeah,
and they
I
don't want to
agree.
be.
I agree with you. It's very small chance that they keep it. Same
Yeah.
thing I would think for Paramount as well because they have no like gaming arm either.
I could see Paramount keep wanting to keep it more, but
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, because then they would have more studios to go, hey, make us a Star Trek game, so we don't have to like outsource it, or hey, make us whatever,
Yeah.
I I think it would still be bad, but I could see them holding on to it a little longer than Netflix, who always tries to dabble into games and never gets anywhere.
I would just worry about like what happens to the studios that are known for making things and they go, oh, TT Games,
Right.
Lego Star Trek better be happening right now. You know,
I
like or
mean, they you're that'd be great, actually.
No,
But-
I'm just saying but they can make them do something that they have no experience with, just because it's like, okay, well, you're one of our studios, right? Make this, you know.
make it a sports game. It's like, what?
Yeah. Like, so who knows? Like, this is gonna take a long time. I'm definitely not gonna be doing the thing that we did with Activision Blizzard
The weekly
thing, where it
check-in.
felt like we were, yeah, like not doing the weekly check-in thing with this, unless there's actual movement one way or the other, where it's like, okay, it is a done deal. One of the two freaking conglomerates bought it, and now they're gonna start going through the process or whatever.
This would be like when Amazon steps in as a third buyer and then takes it all.
Yeah, like Comcast was like a third buyer at one point, but they were like never in the race apparently.
And I think even Tencent was like considered, but they didn't have enough money or they didn't care.
Yeah, my trepidation with it too is like, okay, the thing with Netflix is, how long will Netflix keep HBO separate? Do they always keep HBO separate?
No, it's
And
just
then
like,
how much are the prices going to go up
right
on Netflix because of this? They already have a deal with HBO, really. I mean, they already get a lot of HBO's content.
Yeah.
As it is. But at least with Paramount, like Paramount's starting at a low bar. Like they're $6 a month, like for the one without Showtime, which is what I pay to have the
Right.
soccer and whatever, you know, the small things that I watch on Paramount.
Like the new
But
Star
like,
Trek.
you know, it's like Netflix is already, you know, $25-$30 a month for people.
Right.
So like you're gonna charge what, $50 a month now because you own HBO and all these properties? It's like it's gonna become like almost like you're paying for a cable thing by itself just for Netflix. So
Yeah, and unlike with like cable shows, it's like this isn't ever going to come to Blu-ray or DVD or anything. So
yeah, that too. You already have that problem with movies. I imagine with TV shows it's gonna get even worse.
right.
Now too. So, but all right. I'm sure that will continue to be a thing. Like I said, we're not going to be doing the weekly check-in unless, like I said, they make the final decision on who's going to be the initial owner, and then, you know, we'll go from there. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into what we think will happen with the Game Awards. Okay, first of all, sorry, before we get to that, an interesting thing with AI here with Postal.
Yep.
There was a Postal game being made called Postal Bullet Paradise. Being made by Goonsworn Games, of course. The publisher for Postal games, Running with Scissors, says they had no idea that Goonswarm was apparently using AI. And then they made the announcement, and lo and behold, like the next day, they already like canceled the game because they were getting numerous attacks of having used AI. And they kept denying it, and then they eventually shut down the studio. You know, if you're not doing anything wrong, why would you shut down the studio?
Right.
And then all of a sudden they come out with oh, we didn't know that this had AI in it. Where's the bullshit meter on?
Right.
on
Well,
this?
it's a good example, like we talked about last week, of Tim Cook, not Tim Cook. Who's the Epic guy? Tim Sweeney talking
Tim
to like,
Sweeney, yeah, Tim Sweeney. Yeah.
why is there AI notices on Steam website or Steam pages, like store pages? Like, isn't that stupid? It's like, no, you dumb motherfucker. This is exactly why Steam has that, because people don't want AI in their games. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the game got basically announced and canceled within like 3 days of it. You know, that should tell you something if you had a thought in your head, but it doesn't.
Yeah, this isn't it. This is a good thing. This is I mean, it's not great for the people that are working on it that maybe didn't perhaps know, but I'm gonna say that, um, you know, to be honest, like this stuff shouldn't be happening. Like, if you know, just be honest. You know, it's like, what's the point? The thing is that this is not the time frame where you can really dupe people because they're
Right.
looking for it. People are looking for the AI stuff. And if
Yeah.
you make it easy to find, and then you lie about it and you keep denying it, this is the kind of thing that's going to happen. If you're just honest and go, look, we used AI. This is how we used AI. Um, I think people will be more accepting than you trying to do it the way that they did do it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not okay with people getting attacked for that kind of stuff, whatever, but it's just not good. It's not a good
Right.
look right now, especially when like the first thing that Suda said in the Romeo Must Die announcement is that we didn't use any AI in this
Yeah.
at all. So, um, I just think that we'll see. Sega also kind of made an announcement that they are going to use AI for some things. That seems to be the case with everybody at this point. Like, everybody's kind of admitting that they are going to be using AI for some things. It's just kind
Right.
of like, how badly are you going to use it, um, or how much are you going to use it, especially the generative AI part. They say rather than fully following the trend toward large scale development, we will also pursue efficiency improvements such as leveraging AI. The company's official answer. However, as AI adoption can face strong resistance in creative areas such as character creation, we will proceed by carefully assessing appropriate use cases such as streamline the development process.
Right.
I mean, that's fine. Like, if it's going to make the work easier, I hope we don't get to the point where people are trying to make like Gen AI games and things like it on a large scale, right? Like, not you get that every day on Steam now, or like even on the Switch. It feels like those 20 hentai games that appear on the Switch eShop every day.
No, those are all
I'm
real.
I'm pretty sure those are all Gen AI,
Right.
or all the copycat shop, supermarket simulators or whatever. Um, that's not taking that much for them to do there.
Right.
But as long as we don't get like the next God of War or whatever, or the next Tomb Raider being made
No,
like
we
that.
just get the next Horizon, that Chinese clone one.
Yeah, that one. Speaking of Tomb Raider, one of the things we do know is going to be at the Game Awards, uh, is going to be a new Tomb Raider game. Um, Geoff Keighley even announced it himself. Uh, they're even going to have like some kind of special Fortnite island dedicated to the Game Awards. So
Right.
Geoff Keighley is, give him credit, man. He keeps up in the game on the Game Awards, like where this gets shown every year. Now he's on Prime Video. He's going to be in Fortnite. Um,
But he's not in
it
Second
look,
Life yet, so who cares?
yeah, right. And it looks like this is going to be that new Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider title that has been in development for a while.
Right.
What do you think? Excitement or
Yeah.
yeah,
I liked. I don't like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but the other two were pretty good.
yeah,
And this has been in development for a while, so they better show off something good.
hope so. Yeah, hope it is going to be good. There was apparently a KOTOR 2 remake that was in development. Um, this was found in the false advertising lawsuit filed against Lucasfilm and
Right.
Aspire over the
The
fan
Switch
mod that was
One.
supposed to be
Right.
in there. What do you think of, considering how things are going with the KOTOR 1 remake?
Yeah.
I
No, I
don't
mean
know.
that's the thing is I could see a KOTOR 2 remake like theoretically, but they can't even get the first one done. So
Yeah.
having to do 2, so good luck. And
Yeah.
what if the first one actually doesn't do well, or people don't like it? Then you're kind of screwed.
I agree. I think
I think
that. Go ahead.
yeah,
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, I think trying to go back to that game now, like I would have a hard time going back to that game now. Imagine like your daughter or like a
Yeah.
a 20-year-old playing it. They'd be like, "What is this?" And then just throw it in the garbage.
Right. Especially if Aspire's just going to do the kind of not
Give it a nod.
really do their due diligence of remaking it.
Right.
So I worry about that. The
Yeah.
way that they normally do the remasters and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I guess it sucks that it doesn't mean that can't get revived at some point, but
Right.
we'll
Although
see.
I would say, don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. Yeah. If the KOTOR 1 remake even comes out.
Right.
One point, but okay. As I said, let's talk about the game awards and our predictions here for any predictions on like what you think could get shown on?
I think Final Fantasy VII Part 3. I think they kind of said like, "Hey, we're gonna name it soon."
Yeah, we're gonna name it soon. We only got a little bit. We almost got it ready to show.
Right.
There's that rumor, or not rumor, but they had that like leak picture of
Yeah,
the
snowboarding.
snowboard.
Right.
Kate Sith with the date December 12th. That is December 12th in Japan, and December 11th, which is the day of the Xbox. Also, apparently, it's done with Game Pass, but they for the year, but they stopped at December 11th, ironically. So, wonder if there's going to be some Game Pass announcements for that. I for sure, I think we're going to get Rebirth is going to be on Xbox and Switch 2 or whatever.
Right.
And then maybe they do. What wasn't it like the year that they did the Rebirth one? They had like other Final Fantasy stuff like in the show, and then he ended it with the Rebirth one. He had like a 16. That's where they showed off like Clive and Tekken.
Probably they always show off like 5 Final Fantasy games. So
yeah. So
probably the only 2 things I would say. Well, there are 3 things I would estimate. I'd hope for. I think they're going to show off something GTA 6 related.
You think so? Okay.
I hope so. I hope they at least announce a new Mario game.
I don't think they'll do that here.
Neither do I, but that's my hope. And I don't think they'll show any footage, but I think they'll show like a movie title screen or something for that Zelda movie.
I can see that.
Like
Resident Evil Requiem, I think will.
Yeah, that's a kind of a known thing, or yeah.
What do you think that that thing that he keeps teasing is?
The big statue?
Yeah.
NHL. I mean NHL.
NHL. I feel like it's hinted like at a Kojima thing or whatever, but like that doesn't seem to be what like that OD game is the next thing that he's doing, so
and he said that's kind of may not happen well, so
yeah,
we'll see.
And then even then, like that fizzant thing is like even further away.
Right.
So it's like I know some people were thinking a God of War, but I don't think it's that either.
People thought that. People thought Diablo 4 or some crap,
Diablo
some
4.
new thing about that. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get some kind. Well, they're already. I think Capcom's already doing some kind of Monster Hunter,
right?
Like side thing already.
Again, like with Final Fantasy, there's always like 4 or 5 Monster Hunter announcements.
Yeah, probably sure. You think any kind of surprise, like maybe they announced one of the remakes for Resident Evil here?
No, I think
No?
they'll get 9 off the ground first, and then they'll announce, "Hey, here's Code Veronica HD," or Resident Evil 0, or whatever. Or
You know,
maybe they'll announce Dino Crisis 4.
with all this talk of like Splinter Cell with the show and all that, could they possibly do another like teaser with Splinter Cell? I feel
That
like.
that would be an insanely bad move if they did. Let's say that, because I still don't think that game is nowhere near being done. Like, if the game is like 6 months out, absolutely. But the Splinter Cell director just came back after like 3 years of being somewhere, working somewhere else. So
Right. I
I
do think we get something Ubisoft, like either the Black Flag
I expect that.
remake or
Right.
even Far Cry 7, maybe, depending on how far along that. And that feels like that's been in development for a while. Or the Prince of Persia. One of those three has got to be.
I expect Black Flag, because that's the most definite looking one of the bunch.
Yeah. You think Nintendo at least shows up? Because like, the last couple years they really haven't been. It's like when they don't have like Smash Brothers, it feels like they don't really appear. With
I
like
think they do, just because like it's the biggest thing, like a biggest event in gaming. So they should. I mean, I would say they kind of have to, because who's watching a 20-minute Kirby Air Riders, conference? Like, no one.
well, Sakurai apparently does because he did two of them.
Right.
Maybe it's. I could think maybe if like Metroid Prime 4 hasn't been that well received, so maybe
Yeah.
they'll want to
They'll
kind
announce
of
Metroid Prime 4 Definitive Edition.
right. Like Xbox has got it. The Xbox always shows something. I feel like
They'll show off. You thought Crocs were bad. Now they're going to show off Xbox Nikes.
I would think Fable would be the one because it's the furthest along.
That's what I said. I put Fable and then question mark right after it. So who knows? If they do
But
show Fable, it'll just be another dumbass CGI trailer with Richard Ayoade. It's like, show us some gameplay. Unless it's like an FMV game, like,
either that or like Halo, since it's a remake of the
right,
first game, I could see them doing that to kind of get people, hyped
excited
or whatever.
about Halo.
Yeah. What do you think is going to be the Sony thing? They always kind of have at least one.
Well, we know Intergalactic won't be there. I don't know. Astrobot 2?
I feel like there'll be some. Are they done with Helldivers 2 content, or?
I mean, I who knows? But that's not like a marquee thing at this point, considering the game's like a year and a half old. I mean, they may show like, oh, we're doing a crossover with who knows, like Halo, or some other. That'd be really funny. But they do announce some crossover content, but that's about it. If that.
Like maybe their thing is to show some kind of trailer for the TV show, God of War TV show or something. I don't
But
know.
they haven't worked on it at all.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
true.
mean,
Never mind. They
they
haven't.
haven't even like cast Kratos.
Or that rumored like remaster of the whole Greek series or whatever that people keep throwing around for God of War.
Right.
If that's real, maybe Soros gets another trailer or something.
I expect gameplay out of that, but yeah.
Yeah, gameplay. Yeah. Trying to think, like, I think they like Witcher, probably CD Projekt Red talking about Witcher probably means it's probably not going to be there. I assume Witcher 4.
No. Right.
So Anything else as far as the games go?
Nah.
All right, so
They'll announce the Halo Season 3 TV show. It's coming back.
right.
It did like surprisingly well on Netflix.
Yeah, that did. It did. How many awards do you think Expedition 33 wins? All of them, or all the one that it's in?
I estimate 6.
You think it's going to be the de facto game of the year for sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I think that one's kind of hard to kind of go against there. I do think that I could see them like not giving them the indie ones. So like I could see like Dispatch winning like best debut indie, or like have Hollow Knight win the other indie award. But I'd be very surprised if Expedition 33 doesn't like sweep a lot of most of the awards.
Right.
Like, soundtrack and game direction and audio design and all that kind of stuff, and then the game of the year as well.
Yep.
Not that I mean like it is totally ahead of the pack as far as like there's a lot of people that like loved each one of those games, like Donkey Kong and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and all that stuff. So it's gonna be interesting to see. It could be one of those where like I just think it's nominated for too many things to not win at least something. Like it's not gonna do Spider-Man, where like it got nominated for a bunch of stuff and then not win anything. But that'd be interesting if it just doesn't win anything.
I think people would riot.
What do you think wins action game? Battlefield 6, Doom, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, or Shinobi?
I picked Hades 2.
I picked Hades 2 as well, but it'll be an interesting one if like Battlefield 6.
I could possibly see Ninja Gaiden just because it's been so long since like the last one, and this is actually a good one. But again, the game kind of just came and went. Like,
yeah,
so many games it seems like.
Best action adventure: Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hollow Knight, Silksong, Indiana Jones, Split Fiction.
I picked Indie.
Really? You think Indie's gonna win over?
No, I mean it kind of should, but it won't. I mean, yeah. I'd like it to.
I feel like Hollow Knight's probably gonna win, and then people are gonna get upset that Death Stranding 2 didn't win or something. I'd be very surprised because it's Kojima, but obviously,
right.
Geoff doesn't pick the actual like award winners, so
he secretly does. It'd be funny.
Yeah, right. Like I fooled you all along. I
right.
do pick the winners. You just everything else is kind of like hopefully I'm hoping Despelote wins one of the two that it's nominated in. If not South of Midnight for Games for Impact, but we'll see. We'll see how much do you think it's about equal the award stuff, or does he go back to 2024 where
it'll be like
20%
awards, 80% commercials, and other crap?
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever go back to like that horrible 2024 edition or 2023 edition, sorry. Where he just totally bastardized the awards. I think he kind of learned his lesson there. But
yeah, the one award or the one or category for best adaptation is still incredibly dire. Like he should have had Sonic 3 on that list.
Yeah, and then also like Twisted Metal did not get in, but you got some of these other ones in there.
Right.
All right, cool, whatever. But all right, yeah, like all eyes as far as gaming goes to Thursday.
Yep.
And let's see what gets announced, what wins, and any kind of what celebrities does Keighley pull out of the hat to do
what old and irrelevant celebrity daughters on stage? Can you get Jack Nicholson?
To be fair, at least Harrison Ford made sense.
He
last
did,
year.
sure, but not Al Pacino that one time.
No, that was terrible. But all
Didn't
right,
know
there
who he
are some
was.
games coming out this week. Just to kind
Yeah.
of end things here, I forgot to mention that I did play about an hour and a half of Skate Story. I'll talk about that next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Skate Story is day one PS Plus extra. If you have that, you can also just buy it on PlayStation 5, Switch 2, or PC. That came out today. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is also out on PS5 if you have been wanting to play that. It is there. Angeline Era is out on PC. A game about digging a hole. I'm not joking. That's the name of the game. Is out on the 9th, Xbox, PS5, and Switch. That's on Game Pass as well. Death Howl is also on Game Pass on PC. Adrift, which is that kind of like game where you're like driving around, kind of looks like No Man's Sky, but you're in a vehicle.
Right.
Out on PC on the 9th as well. The Stormlancers, that game that got promoted on the Nintendo Direct, Switch 2 and PC multiplayer game, is out on the 9th as well. Thank goodness you're here. Comes to Xbox finally. That's cool that it's coming there. That's a great game if you have not played that yet. Unbeatable. Hopefully it still comes out tomorrow to everything but Switch. Been excited for that game.
Yep.
Alchemist comes out to PC as well on the 10th. Montezuma's Revenge, the 40th anniversary. I didn't know that was even a thing. It's Xbox, Switch, and PS5. Mutant League Football 2. Mutant Football League 2, sorry. It's
Right.
coming to PC, Xbox. I like the first one was pretty decent. The Never Awake Flashbacks also coming to PC as well on the 10th. There's a new Bluey game, The Quest for the Gold Pen. Somehow these Bluey games they wind up being big. There's a Star Trek VR game, Mark.
Great.
Out for the Quest and PC, Star Trek Infection.
Yeah.
Did you even know that was
No,
coming?
sounds like a bad shooter or something. No.
And that Terminator 2D No Fate is also coming out on the 12th. To everything. That's a game that's like looked really cool.
Right.
That I've been wanting to play. The Tomba 2 finally got a release date. That's next week.
Yep.
Though on the 15th. You getting that?
Probably not, because I don't like Tomba 2 that much.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you just like a
It's
fan of
different
both.
from the first one, so.
Okay. Interesting. All right. And also Where the Winds Meet comes to like mobile and stuff. It was already out on PS5. It's actually pretty good for a free-to-play game. So yeah, some neat things coming out this week as we kind of wind down the year here with the Game Awards coming right in this week as well. So we will do some kind of like a recap after the show is over, probably like when my shift ends at 12. So as soon as my shift ends, we'll try to be there live and at least do an hour reaction to the announcements and the award winners. I'll also be doing like a live react with the Outer Haven during the show while I'm on my lunch break. So you can check that out as well. I'll probably post on social media when we're doing that live. So until next week, everybody, or well, until Thursday. See you later.
Later.